Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Today's video is all about ballistics. I attended a class ran by a member of the Applied Ballistics training division. It was a 2-day, 9-hour per day class, so 18 hours in total, and let me tell you, it was information overload. If you're able to take a class like this, I highly recommend it. I hope this video will give you a better understanding of what your expectations can be and should be for this type of training. A quick side note, there was almost no expectation of skill level to take this class. If you can zero your rifle, you are good to go. For equipment, we were given a crash course in using a Kestrel, which is a device that gives you atmospheric data. Actually, it gives you a lot of data. Along with having an Applied Ballistics solver built in, this is almost a must-have if you're serious about precision long-range shooting. I've never used a Kestrel before, so the instruction on this device was very much appreciated. Once everybody arrived and got settled, we got all the legal stuff out of the way, did our initial briefing of how the course was going to progress, and a quick overview of all the topics that would be covered, and after that, it was time to get the day started. One of the first things we did was to get some ammo and a heater and cooler, as you see here. This was for later in the day to show POI shift on ammo that was around 10 degrees and 110 degrees Fahrenheit. This was very interesting to me because it was topics that I didn't even think really mattered. Once we got behind our weapons, the first thing was to take a muzzle velocity reading on a cold bore. This information will come in handy later to build a gun profile for the Kestrel, and also with that cold and hot ammo, just to show how temperature affects placement downrange. For getting this data, the instructor had several lab radars for us to use. All the targets were measured exactly in each lane to confirm all data taken. This is what the little red flags were for, in case you were wondering. We moved on to a tall target test. This test would verify any turret tracking issues on our weapons, and also serve to verify scope's vertical movement. The way this is done is to take a shot at a pre-marked impact point on the bottom of the target, verify the impact is good, then dial a set amount of elevation, make a follow-up shot at the same pre-marked impact point. This gives you a positive reference for calculating if your scope is giving you the correct inputs. Our next exercise is about cant. There are two types of cant, rifle and scope. Here, our instructor is purposefully introducing several degrees of rifle cant to our shooter, the effects of which will be seen on our target downrange. This was a very interesting demonstration of effects a shooter can introduce into his weapon system. As a side note, scope cant can be identified through your tall target test. For your curiosity, I will let this footage roll for a little bit so you can see exactly what was done. Now it's time to check out how all this information translates to impacts. As you see, our tall targets, notice the bottom impacts. These were our reference shots. The impacts above were made with a known amount of dialed elevation for each shooter. Using the vertical reference line on each target, the shooter is able to verify scope turret tracking. Again, this was a really cool demonstration, especially for a novice shooter such as myself. Moving on to cant. Here our instructor is pointing out the results of introducing about 5 degrees of cant to our shooter in either direction. You can see the effects of this on a target that's just 100 meters away, and you can just imagine this effect amplified at ELR. After all the soaking up of information was done, it was time to unleash all this knowledge on our long range. Here we got to see the fruits of our work by slapping steel and having good laughs to end an amazing 2-day training event. This was a class well worth the price of admission. The only worry I had was forgetting most of what I learned. Here I'll give you a shot of our private range. It's pretty self-explanatory, but we have targets all the way out to 1,000 yards and multiple shooting obstacles. Here I'll zoom in downrange just to give you a shot. I really hope you enjoyed this video as I've enjoyed making it for you. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below and I'll try to get back with you. If you would like any additional information about these types of classes, although I can only speak about this one particular class given by Applied Ballistics, I'd be happy to go in more depth if that's something you would like. Thanks for watching, and again, we'll see you in the next one.